As you saw in the previous movie, we were able to easily get the images we wanted into our InDesign document. However, those images didn't come in exactly like we wanted them. Some of them are too big, some of them are too small, and in this movie I'm going to show you how to correct all that using the fitting options inside of InDesign. First things first, our logo up here at the top looks okay, but when I right-click on that, I can go down to the fitting, and inside of the fitting, I can choose something called Fit Content Proportionally. What that is going to do is just make sure that the logo doesn't get distorted, but it fills the maximum amount of space that it can within that frame without losing any information. Pretty cool. All right, now, second is this gigantic pizza peel image, which is obviously much larger than it needs to be. Well, we need to scale that down, but if you just start messing with the box, you'll notice that it just kind of crops things off. It's not really resizing it, so what gives there? How do we make that change? You need to make sure that you're using the scale tool, which is right here. Also, you can press the letter E on your keyboard to get a hold of that. Now, let's shrink this object down a little bit just by holding down the Shift key. You can also hold down Option or Alt while you do this and shrink it from all sides. And then what I'm going to do is make sure this hits the bleed line down there at the bottom and that it is directly in the center of the page. Now, I'm also going to shrink it down just a little bit more, something kind of like that. I want it to basically meet the edge there. And then if you want to click away from it to kind of see what it looks like, that looks pretty good now. So I've got that pizza peel image all in place. Now let's move down here. Breadsticks. Well, at least I know it's the breadsticks image. It certainly doesn't look like them right now. Let's try that same trick we tried with the logo earlier. Right-click, choose Fitting, and choose Fit Content Proportionally. Oh, there's my breadsticks, but I have a little bit of a problem here. You notice I've got white space on either side of the image. That's not good. So instead of fitting the content proportionally, we would choose Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally. That way, the image scales up a little bit, fills it, but doesn't distort at all. Now, Papa Parmigiano, here's what I'm going to do with him. I'm going to just shrink down the size of his container so that it matches up with the column that he's sitting in. Now, later on, we may play around with this image to sort of break a rule where we break the plane, so to speak. Basically, that means that Papa Parmigiano may go a little bit over into this column. He breaks the plane of those columns. This is an interesting design choice that a lot of people choose to use. You see this a lot on the cover of magazines. When you see someone who's on the cover of a magazine, a celebrity or something, let's say you're looking at Us Weekly or Time Magazine or something like that, a lot of times people will have the person that's featured on the cover actually over the words telling you what the magazine is. You know what the magazine is because you've recognized the design, but they break the plane of that as a conscious design decision to sort of create a little bit of, I don't know, just excitement or a different look to it. It's something that a lot of artists and graphic designers do, and I think it's a pretty cool idea. So we'll play around with that a little bit later. All right, this last one here, we're going to do the same thing that we did with Papa Parmigiano. We're just going to make sure it fits inside of here, right-click, Fitting, and we'll choose Fit Content Proportionally for now. And then finally, let's go down here to the back cover and the wine bottle. I think it looks okay, but it gets kind of cut off there at the bottom. So let's right-click on that and let's fit that content proportionally as well. Now, like I said, we're going to make some design decisions around some of these things to sort of quote-unquote break the rules, but we're doing it for creative reasons, so it's not going to look all that bad once we get it finished. But for now, we've pretty much fixed all the issues we have, and we're ready to move on now that we have everything kind of fitting exactly where it needs to be.